Welcome to yet another edition of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show for Saturday, September 30th, 2017. And this is the report for Friday, September 29th, 2017. I'm your host, Walter Johnson. And over the next, 30 to 40 minutes or however long it takes to be on the air here on the Southwest Georgia Network YouTube channel. And I'll give you all the scores, the final scores from high school football action in the Southwest Georgia Network coverage area. And remember, you can follow the Southwest Georgia Network on Twitter at SWGA Network. And once you find the link to the Southwest Georgia Network Twitter feed page, there's also the link to the YouTube channel. And just below the description. And you're seeing on the air live right now. It says live now. And so we're underway right now. See, and let's get started. Not a lot of time to waste. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right now. Start down in Quitman, Georgia, and the battle of 4-0 teams in Quitman, Georgia, and the Brooks County Trojans handed the Crisp County Cougars their first loss of the season, and Brooks County picked up a 31-21 victory. And Brooks County avenged a loss from last season, in which Crisp County won 16-14 on a last-second field goal, and that was up in Cordele last year. But the game was played down in Quitman this year, and this year Brooks County got the upper hand over Crisp County. And again, the final score is Brooks County 31, Crisp County 21, and Brooks County with a win goes to 5-0 on the season. And the Trojans remain undefeated, while the Crisp County Cougars fall to 4-1 on the year. And their first regular season loss for the Cougars since November 6, 2015 or 2015. And the Cougars fell to Worth County that night, 35-28 in that one-game playoff. And Crisp County finished the season at 3-7, missed the playoffs that year. And of course, Crisp County went 13-1 last year, won the Region 1 AAA title, and advanced to the semifinals, only to lose to eventual state champion Cedar Grove out of the Metro Atlanta area. And seeing Cedar Grove is actually in Ellenwood, Georgia, in DeKalb County. And Cedar Grove, after pummeling Crisp County and Cordele 55-0, and they knocked off Greater Atlanta Christian 30-19 to win their first ever state title. As for Crisp County, and this is their first regular season loss in almost 2 years, and Brad Harbor suffers his first loss as the interim head coach for the Cougars. And Crisp County will get a week off, a bye week, before traveling to Albany to face Monroe in their GHSA Region 1 AAA opener. And obviously Crisp County could use that time off after the loss to Brooks County. And the final score, one last time, Brooks County 31, Crisp County 21. And moving on to Americus-Sumter in Cairo, up in Americus, Georgia, the battle for first place in GHSA Region 1 4A. And that battle belongs to the Americus-Sumter Panthers. And the Panthers win their first ever game over the Serve Makers, winning 31-15. and the Panthers jumped out to a quick lead, 12-0 and 18-7. It's 12-0 at one point, and 12-0 early in the game, 18-7 at the half, and seeing and Cairo was plagued by numerous mistakes, which killed a lot of potential scoring drives, and then ultimately it killed Surmaker's chances for victory. And the final score, once again, Americus-Sumter 31, Cairo 14. Americus-Sumter 31, Cairo 15, I should say. And the Surmakers with a win. The Panthers, the Americus-Sumter Panthers with a win, go to 4-2 overall. But more importantly, they move into sole possession of first place in GHSA Region 1-4A, being undefeated at 3-0. And Cairo falls to 3-3 overall and 2-1 in Region 1-4A. And with that loss, Cairo suffered a defeat in region play for the first time in nearly 2 years. And Cairo's last region defeat came on October 23rd, 2015, and the Surmakers fell to Monroe in a heartbreaker at Humil Stadium, 16-14. And that's according to the folks at the Georgia High School Football Historians Association, and available online at GHSFHA.org. That's GHSFHA.org. And believe me, you won't be disappointed. But Cairo loses at Americus-Sumter 31-15. And next up for the Surmakers, they'll head to Columbus to face Carver Columbus on Friday the 13th, while Americus-Sumter will be off as well. I think all 8 teams in Region 1-5A will get a bye for next week. And staying in Region 1-4A, the Westover Patriots struggles continued on Friday night at Humil Stadium as they fall to the Hardaway Hawks out of Columbus, Georgia. Final score 28-6. And Hardaway with the victory tonight. And the third straight loss for the Westover Patriots out of Albany and head coach Octavia Jones. And Westover falls to 2-4 overall, and they remain winless in GHSA Region 1-4A, and dropping to 0-3. And Westover will have a bye next week, and then starting on Friday October 13th, Westover will begin a swing of 3 straight road games at Columbus, going to Columbus, Georgia to take on Columbus High School, and at Cairo on October the 20th. No easy task. And then they'll go back to Columbus on October 26th for a Thursday night game against Shaw, and then they'll return to Humil Stadium for one final time in 2017 to take on Northside Columbus. And obviously, points have been hard to come by for Westover. And so far this season, and have been held to 6 points or fewer in their 4 losses. And on the other hand, Westover, the Patriots from Albany, Westover Patriots from Albany have outscored their opposition 75-41, 35-28 win at Pelham, and then they rolled past Doherty 40-13. So when the Westover Patriots put up a lot of points, they usually win the game. Usually win the games, but when they're not scoring, but making a lot of mistakes instead, they usually end up losing. And and obviously, you know, Westover could use that bye week to try to correct whatever mistakes that they've been making up to this point. And just gonna moving right along, and final week of non-region action for GHSA Region 1 AAA. And I mentioned earlier in this broadcast that the Crisp County Cougars lost for the first time in 2017, as well as in almost 2 years, as they fell on the road to the Brooks County Trojans 31-21, and just up the road in Adel, Georgia, just up the road from Quitman, Georgia, in Adel, Georgia. The Hornets finally won a game, cracked the win column with a 49-13 win over Early County, a very easy win for the Cook Hornets, and they came oh so close to knocking the Thomasville Bulldogs from the ranks of the unbeaten, but Cook got the job done on Friday night, in last Friday night in September, as they win 49-13 over Early County. And in doing so, the Hornets handed the Bobcats their third straight loss, and Early County drops to 2-4 overall. And like the saying goes, it doesn't get any easier for the Early County Bobcats and first-year head coach Joel Harvin as they play host to Brooks County next week. And as for Cook, they'll open GHSA Region 1 AAA play on the road, going to Sylvester, Georgia to take on the Worth County Rams. And speaking of the Rams, they're still looking for win number 1 under first-year head coach Ben Simmons, and the Rams travel to Hamilton, Georgia, right in between Columbus and LaGrange. And Harris County wins convincingly over Worth County, 44-13, the final score. And Worth County drops to 0-6 on the season, as I mentioned. And Harris County, with the win, goes to 3-3. And the Tigers finish their non-region schedule at 500, winning 3 games and losing 3. And the focus now turns to region play for the Worth County Rams and hosting Cook. And further east from Adel, in Nashville, Georgia, the Monroe Tornadoes gave Berrien all they can handle, but in the end, the Tornadoes lost their 4th straight game, losing a heartbreaker 13-10 at Berrien. And Monroe opens Region 1 AAA action next week at Humel Stadium, taking on the Doherty Trojans, and Doherty dropping to 1-5 and dropping their 4th straight game, as Perry wins easily. The Perry Panthers out of Perry, Georgia, winning easily over Doherty, 49-8, and the Trojans dropped to 1-5 overall in the season. And one thing about this, the start or ending of a non-region play and the beginning of region play for Cook and Doherty and Monroe and Worth County, in spite of all the struggles of these 4 teams, the 4 teams besides Crisp County have had up till now. And region play starts next week. And when region play starts, it's basically a new season. You're basically starting over. Everybody starts at 0-0. You see, and you're all zeros under the region column, underneath the standings. And So Cook, Doherty, Monroe, and Worth County have all combined for 3 wins apiece against 18 losses now. And Monroe with their loss to Berrien 13-10 drops to 1-4. Doherty dropping to 1-5 after being pummeled by Perry 49-8. Cook going to 1-4 after crushing Early County 49-13, and then Worth County dropping to 0-6. It's 0-6, not 0-5. And did the math wrong there. So it should be at combined. So the combined record for Cook, Doherty, Monroe, and Worth County now sits at 6-19 overall. 6-19, and then you throw in the record of the now 4-1 Crisp County Cougars. So that overall mark among all 5 teams in GHSA Region 1 AAA would go to, quick drum roll, 10-20 overall. And again, with region play in 1 AAA starting next week. And so when Monroe faces Doherty at Hugh Stadium in Albany, and while 20 plus miles east of Albany in Sylvester, Worth County plays host to Cook, and starting next week. I mean, all 4 teams are thinking clean slate, and they'll have a chance to just start fresh, trying to make that push toward the playoffs. And we got more scores coming up right now on the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show with your host Walter Johnson. Follow on Twitter at SWGA Network, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button, the red subscribe button, and then clicking the bell to save. And the time is now at 12:33 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday, September 30th, 2017. And how about the Lee County Trojans and Lee County? And now sits at 7-0 with a 34-0 rout over the Houston County Bears up in Warner Robins, Georgia tonight. And Lee County with the win not only remains undefeated at 7-0 overall, but more importantly, they start region play off on the right foot and improving to 1-0. And Lee County gets a well-deserved week off before hosting north side of Warner Robins. And the Eagles shut out Class Single A powerhouse Macon County in a Thursday night game up in Warner Robins. Nothing. And they'll host Valdosta next week. And Valdosta trounced Thomas County Central 41-14. And that snaps a 3-game losing streak for the defending GHSA Class 6A champions. And Valdosta's got the work cut out for them, taking on this north side of Warner Robins team. And Northside's won 5 in a row since losing to Warner Robins 28-17 back on August 18th. And we got some we got some other scores passed along. And how about Lowndes? Lowndes goes to 6-0 on the season as they go on the road and crushed Ware County 37-6. That game was played in Waycross, Georgia, and Lowndes runs its record to 7-0 with one more non-region contest, playing host to Mount Zion out of Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County, just south of Atlanta. And and they'll be there. And that was the first time Lowndes was on the road all season long. And Lowndes passed that test with flying colors, winning 37-6, and they'll host Mount Zion Jonesboro next week, and then travel to Tiffin County and Camden County, then wrapping the regular season up with Colquitt County at home. I know those are the three: Tiffin County, Camden County, Colquitt County, all Region 1-7A games. And Lowndes is in, and there are only 4 teams in GHSA Region 1-7A, and only the top 3 teams are guaranteed playoff berths. And another GHSA Region 1-7A team in action on Friday night was the Tiffin County Blue Devils, and the Blue Devils pulled out a big win at home over Coffee, 33-31, and this past Friday night, they go to Fitzgerald and pick up a 35-14 victory, and the Blue Devils are now 7-0 on the season. And head coach Ashley Andrews and his squad will have a bye next week, and will return to action on Friday the 13th, October 13th, to open GHSA Region 1-7A action against Lowndes. Should be a good one on Friday the 13th. And the other and the third GHSA Region 1-7A team to mention, the Colquitt County Packers, will play on Saturday night, Saturday, September 30th, facing Bishop Sullivan out of Virginia, in the Hampton Roads region of Virginia. And Colquitt County will look to end their non-region schedule on a winning note against Bishop Sullivan. And kickoff set for 8 p.m. Later on Saturday. And wrapping up and we got some more scores to wrap things up. And the Bainbridge Bearcats 4-game winning streak came to an end, losing 41-27 to Rickards. Rickards spelled Rickards, Tallahassee, Florida, just across the state line. And Bainbridge had won 4 in a row since the season opening loss to Lee County on the road back on August 25th. But that streak came to an end with a 41-27 loss to Rickards out of Tallahassee, Florida. And also, the Cairo County Green Waves won their first game of the season as they defeated the Baconton Charter 21-10, the final score, 20-10. And Terrell County came into that game winless at 0-5, but they're now 1-5 overall, and they're 1-4 in GHSA Region 1 Single A with the victory. And Miller County goes above 500, both overall and in Region 1 Single A play. And the Pirates pitched a shutout over the Calhoun County Cougars, 34-0, the final score. And Pelham escapes with a 3-point win over Chattahoochee County. And that game was played in Pelham, 21-18, the final score. Pelham wins it, and Pelham is now 5-1 overall, and they remain unbeaten in GHSA Region 1 Single A at 5-0. And Mitchell County also Mitchell County is also 5-1 overall and undefeated in Region 1 Single A, going to 5-0 on the season. And the Eagles roll past Randolph Clay 63-22. Really not much of a game there. And So let's see, next week for Mitchell County. And Mitchell County has a bye next week, and will return to action on Friday, October 13th, traveling down to Donaldsonville, Georgia. Donaldsonville with just one D at the beginning, spelled Donalsonville, take on Seminole County. And St. Pelham's next game will also be on Friday the 13th, hosting Randolph Clay. So, and while it's just a two-way race at the top between Mitchell County and Pelham, and it gets tight once you get below those two teams. Once you get past Mitchell County and Pelham, it's really a tight race. And unlike the higher classifications in Class Single A, the top 24 teams in the power rankings, teams that finish in the top 24 in the power rankings will advance to the state playoffs. And you see Commerce came in at number 1 in the power rankings. Manchester 2, Mount Zion Cairo 3, Tryon 4, Jenkins County 5, and Irwin County came in at number 6. And Irwin County had a big game against Charlton County. More on that score momentarily. Berrien County 7, Clinch County 8, Macon County 9, Charlton County 10. Those are your top 10. Let's see other teams of interest. You got Turner County at number 13, Schley County 14, Pelham at number 15. And a big win there in Mitchell County at number 18. Chattahoochee County tied for 19th with Telfair County, Randolph Clay 22. And then you got Towns County up in the northeast Georgia mountains, Lincoln County in east central Georgia, East Georgia, around the South Carolina border. Round out the top 24 for this week. And you see, you got some more a few more final scores to reel off. And Clinch County, and the number 8 team in the power rankings, cruised to a 56-21 win over Atkinson County. And Irwin County, a 48-27 winner over Charlton County. And I think Irwin County's power rating is sure to go up. And Turner County, at number 13 in the Class Single A public school power rankings, picked up a big win, going to 2-1 in Region 2 Single A with a 40-13 win over Lanier County. And we can get the standings in GHSA 2 Single A, Region 2 Single A, and goes to 5-1 overall, 3-0 in the region with the victory. In Charlton County, losing for the first time, dropping to 4-1 and 2-1, 4-1 overall, 2-1 in the region. And Turner County going to 4-2 and 2-1, same record as Clinch County, 4-2 and 2-1. So he's hard to believe. Just 5 weeks left in the regular season. And then after Colquitt County finishes playing against Bishop Sullivan out of Virginia, and it seems like that final full month of the regular season will really get going, and the stakes only get higher. And we got some final scores from the GISA, starting with in Albany, and Deerfield Windsor Knights hand the Southland Golden Raiders of Americus, Georgia, their first loss of the season. And the Knights pull off the upset, 20-17. And Deerfield's played a tough non-region schedule, being shut out 21-0 against North Florida Christian out of Tallahassee, Florida. and losing a heartbreaker on the road to Pinewood Christian in southeast Georgia. And just the last week on September 22nd, they fell 20-7 on the road to Bessemer Academy of Alabama. But Deerfield Windsor gets the win tonight, 20-17 over Southland. And Deerfield Windsor is on the road against Tift Area Academy in tiny Chula, Georgia, just north of Tifton. And Tift Area pulls out a big win over Brookwood out of Thomasville, Georgia. And Tift Area wins that game 34-26. And last but not least, Southwest Georgia Academy wins easily over Springwood Academy, Alabama, 50-9. And the final score once again, SGA 50 and Springwood 9. And on that note, that's going to end this edition of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard for the week of Friday, September 29th, 2017, on Saturday, September 30th, 2017. And remember, you can follow the Southwest Georgia Network on Twitter at SWJ Network. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel when you click on the link on the Twitter feed at SWJ Network. And also remember to click the red button red wire rectangular button to subscribe, and then click on the dark gray bell to get all notifications for new videos. I'm your host, Walter Johnson. Have a good weekend, and hope to see you next time. Hope to talk to you next time. Good night and good morning.